From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning here on Mornings LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. A lot of breaking news, an insane amount of breaking news this morning. First, we'll be going over that fourth stimulus check and why the new breaking news today signals you could be getting a lot more checks from those potential Democrats. Then, in the second part of this video, we'll be going over the recon and why recon could be giving you a lot more money and why it should be giving you extension of unemployment benefits. I'll have all the breaking details on that. Then in the third part of this video, we'll go over the voting process, the bill, the dates, the July 4th, the July 5th. I'll be answering all your incredible questions on air during this recording. And then we cut to fifth stimulus and what breaking news that impacted that today as well. Treasury yields plummeting as world markets crashing around the globe this morning. New concerns about the lack of economic recovery and the upsurge of the Delta. I have all the breaking news as well. Then we turn to the big money across the board that viewers are continuing to get, and it's your day to get these tens of thousands of dollars. There's no less than a dozen breaking news stories this morning. It's a big jam-packed day. Let's get to the details, starting right now on Mornings LALATE. It's a beautiful morning, and you're almost to the weekend. Congratulations. I think you deserve it. I think we all deserve a weekend. How's the weather where you are and where you're tuning in from? Jump on the live chat and tell me where you're watching. It's a little bit muggy, but cooler at the moment. Not too sunny, but I'm not liking the mugginess here. So hopefully it's going to go away. If they bring that onshore breeze in here in Santa Monica, I am beautifully happy. I'm sure you will be as well. So jump in the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, boy, in the 50 plus weeks I've been with you since this channel's existed, I've never seen a day where there's so much breaking news. There's a lot. So stay with me to the very end. First, we'll be going over those monthly stimulus checks and what the breaking news today signals about potentially more months of checks. Then in the second part of this video, we'll be going over the recon process and how they're adding additional sums of money in there and why they should be adding additional sums of money in there for extension of unemployment benefits. I'll be going over what happened today and what that could be doing for the recon drafting. Then in the third part of this video, we go over everything you've been asking, everything that's answered, the date, the vote, what's going on, what date, when will it be sent out, how will it be sent out. All those questions are answered in this video. Then we cut to fifth stimulus as well, which heats up by raising up people's benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans. And the Treasury yields, however, are falling 1.25% in just a few hours. Oh, folks, there's a lot of breaking news, and that impacts your benefits across the board. Then we cut to the big money that viewers continue to get. Rent, utilities, $10,000, $20,000. I want you to get this money as well, and this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning like right now, then taped in the afternoons. Back next with you with Mornings Crypto at 9:30, then noontime, 11 o'clock, live on air, and then we go into afternoons and evenings LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Thank you for all of the wonderful new subscribers this week. We have been on fire. Hit that subscribe button right now. Next stop, 1,400,000 subscribers in 1 year. Next, also like this video. Every like you help really helps in the algorithm rankings and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into the breaking news because there is so much of it today across the board. We're going to start with the stimulus check and the number of checks and the amount. At issue is how many checks would the Democrats be potentially giving you? It was just no less than a week ago in which we said, early last week, where I said, the pandemic plus 1 year provision of the House may be reduced to just 1 year. More about that in a second. But that's what the House bill is, pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal is July to December. And then we have the payouts, a House bill, $2,000 over the first month, $1,000 thereafter. Senators monthly unknown, but we're on the street. It's this. Wow, that's deliciousness. That's per person. That's $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Now get ready to jump in the live chat and vote House or Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from, but don't vote yet because you got to hear this breaking news. The breaking news today is insanely out of control. Japan has announced a state of emergency, has banned all spectators at the Olympic Games. Reason, Delta. Next, Missouri, 80% full capacity, near full capacity of ICU beds. Why? Reason is Delta. Number three, there is new signals that the Delta is much more pervasive than initially thought. You know, if you've been with me every single day over the last week, it's snowballed very quickly. I've never seen it snowballed like this. It was a week ago on a Monday where we're saying, well, the pandemic's over. The legislators may just give you, on the House side, 1-year checks, which would be $13,000. Then late last week, I think it was a Thursday last week, LA County came out and said, no, the pandemic's not over. LA County's always one step ahead of everyone else. And they said, no, the pandemic's not over. Then Warren Buffett said the pandemic's not over. Then the airline said the pandemic's not over. Now, the data today, stock market's crashing. World markets are crashing, economic crashing, because they think that Delta is far more serious than initially thought. That would mean, if you go back to these payouts, that potentially the House bill would be the biggest payout, because if we do go back to pandemic plus 1 year on the House, then that's a lot more checks. Pandemic plus 1 year House versus Senate, which is just 6 months. Compare that to this. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate with that breaking news. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. I know my opinion's changed. Vote right now, House or Senate. How's the weather as well? Boy, things are changing very quickly. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent single individuals, 75,000 or less, would get a fourth stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. Married couples, 150,000 or less, Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check, double it. Family of four, Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check they represent would go to the same people who got third stimulus checks. The fourth stimulus check is not taxable. It would not count as income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for adult dependents as everyone else. The fourth stimulus check would come monthly. It would not be a waivable check. So if you do see the check at the 2-for-1 pizza night tonight, and you see the check, you know, just sort of devouring a nice, delicious bacon pizza, and you wave at the check, say, hey, fan check, I see you like bacon too, like LA, and the check doesn't respond back. It's just not a root check. It's just a check that has my bacon. Give me back my check, my bacon, you rude check. Yeah, I get, maybe it is a rude check. It took my bacon. Fourth stimulus check would come in the month of July for the month of July. And in the month of August, for the month of August, those Democrats represent. And they can still get the check to you in the month of July, those Democrats represent. But in the second part of this video, we'll be going over the recon and why the recon may be giving you a lot more money and why it should be giving you an extension of unemployment benefits. In the third part of this video, we'll be going over everything you've been asking about: dates, times, routing, July 15th, July 4th. We'll be going over the drafting, the vote, how many votes, when is it going out, how would it work, could they change their mind? All those details are coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. It is a jam-packed broadcast with breaking news. I just literally have over 24 articles in this breaking news that I have to cover today. But let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, and it has some breaking news and story as well. The Treasury yields are falling 1.25%. It's only 9 o'clock, folks. They've already fallen 1.25%. We're only a few hours into the trading day. This is huge because, again, your benchmark for the new SSI, SSDI, VA lift of your benefits under fifth stimulus is inflation. And the Treasury yield is going this way? What's going on? What's going on? This is not supposed to be happening. I'll have all the breaking news for you as I try to explain a very unexplainable day. But first, let's get some money. I think that's the easiest thing we can do is get some money. If you're new to this channel, this is what this channel does. I give people money. I don't just track checks. And if you're in the live chat right now, post right now the money you got. If you got money for SNAP, post it. If you got money for rent, a utility, post it. Boy, I'm so proud of you. Last night's afternoon's LALATE and evening's LALATE, the numbers coming through were just enormous. $12,000, $14,000 for rent. It was out of control. Nisi, $23,000 for this channel. Got $20,000 for rent, money for utilities, SNAP, and more. Art Sullivan got money for rent, utilities, and internet. John got $12,000 for SNAP. Viewers are getting $10,000 to $13,000 hourly for rent on this channel. I always said that rent was $5,000, approximately 4 to 6 months of rent. I was wrong. Apparently, it's more than $10,000. I always said that utilities a couple $100. I was wrong. Viewers are getting $3,000. I always said, maybe the SNAP is, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 because I saw a few of them. I was wrong. Viewers are getting $10,000, $12,000 for SNAP. If you've gotten SNAP, jump in the live chat and post what you've gotten on an annualized basis. Let's get a pen and paper ready. Let's go over that big money right now. I want you to get this money. This is like December 2020. In December 2020, we were waiting for second stimulus to go out. It was not going out. And I said, you need money. I'm going to get you money. And I got viewers $250,000. I got viewers $250,000 for rent, utilities. We're doing it again right now. I got viewers like Tyrone, $15,000 in December to pay for his entire holidays, to cover his rent all the way to next year. So as we're waiting for fourth stimulus to go out, let's get this money. Let's get this money. Get that pen and paper ready together. Here we go. We're going to reach out to different places. Each place has different eligibility. They also have their own pots of money. So if one says no, reach out to the next. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or a Mitch's mixtape track list. They don't want to know that. They don't even want to know its existence. Yeah, their ear hurts just thinking about it. So they don't know that. So don't say the words they don't know. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this wonderful money for rent, and all the countless viewers as well. If you've gotten it, post in the live chat. The next part of money is the SNAP. SNAP is a fortune. John, as I just said, got $12,000 for SNAP. Art got it. Nisi got it. If you got money for SNAP, post in the live chat right now on an analyzed basis. We had a lot of people last night saying they got $6,000 to $7,000 a year. I was so proud of them. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. What is SNAP? It is money for food. Where does it come from? Department of Agriculture. What is the eligibility? A stimulus check, generally. To which you would say, if you got a stimulus check, why would you pay for your own food? The federal government will pay for it. And this is not retroactive, so don't wait around. Get it starting right today. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? A fortune. Family of four in Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December nationally. It's not retroactive, so go get it. And wow, you're killing it. $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. The next part of the money is the wonderful money coming back from your states. The states have been ordered to return money back to you due to computer error of overpayment during unemployment. One viewer got this 2 nights ago on Evenings LALATE. I was so happy for her. It was about $3,000 she got. Another viewer got $5,000 about a week earlier. How much is it? Well, it's coming back from your state. The federal government has ordered the states return to you that check that they initially paid due to overpayment of computer error. Where is it going to land? A direct deposit. How do you track it? Reach out to your respective state and say, state, hey, where's that check due to computer error? And can you track it this time with a computer that actually works? And finally, our last pot of the money is the money coming back from IRS. If you got this as well, jump in the live chat. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. How much? Let's say it was $9,000 and you paid $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit or in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yeah, about 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there and do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid. It'll reveal some stuff that you never knew, some stuff that you sort of don't want to know. It'll reveal how is Mitch auditioning his backup singers. It'll reveal is Mitch going to be singing at a piano with a big candelabra? And then it'll reveal the tax return check you're getting back from IRS. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus recon coverage starting right now. Well, here we are. 2 Wednesdays ago, the recon was not passable. What does not passable mean? It means that if they called it for a vote, it was not going to pass. Why not? Because it was too big. At that time, it had roads and bridges in there and your stuff. Well, that was a big, serious issue. It was a very big, serious issue. And the president, Nancy Chalk, Jalapal were meeting regularly, daily, and they determined this monstrosity of a recon will not pass. We have to take roads and bridges out. And that became what I called the split day. 2 Wednesdays ago, they split the recon and took roads and bridges out and put it in something called the bipartisan. And that was 2 Wednesdays ago. Suddenly we had then 2 items, recon, where your money is, and bipartisan. Bipartisan is, of course, roads and bridges, and recon is your items. They represent, there's 4 stimulus checks in there, climate, cares economy, money for children, seniors, and medicine, and more. That's the recon. Now, how do we know that it became passable? Because both conservatives and Democrats said it became passable. In fact, there's a beautiful op-ed by a conservative publication late last week that confirms it. It said that the higher the price tag was on the recon, the harder it was to pass. Okay, there we go, confirmation. By allowing the Democrats to take some parts out of the recon and put into the bipartisan, roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. Okay, that's obvious. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon now passable. Sorry, Mitch, set you up. I mean, yeah, there's no other way to say it. The GOP had nothing to gain by blessing the bipartisan because it now made the recon passable. So there you go. It made the recon passable when called for a vote. That vote is coming up later in this video. So then with that, now that the recon was shrunk because the roads and bridges was taken out, now they're shrunk, the progressives were able to start add stuff back in just a little bit, not a lot. So what are they adding in? Let me go over the fact of that they are adding stuff in, and then I'm going to go over what they're adding in. First, are they adding stuff in? Yeah, they actually confirm it. Representative Ilar Omar says that we have a commitment that regardless of what happens with the bipartisan, Congress will give us a recon that goes as far as we want it. Okay, so they're adding in. Representative Richie Torres confirms he's adding in housing. Housing? Yeah, I refuse to vote for any bill that does not have a larger recon attached to it. And the Progressive Caucus is meeting daily with the White House to ensure that the recon goes bigger. So what are they adding in? Well, here's what you need to know, is that you're going to see in a second that the Democrats have represented a gazillion times that they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Now, understand, they can always take it out. These are legislators. They flip-flop all the time. So you have to push purple power down to the finish line. They say that stimulus checks are in there. They can always take them out. What have they not given us an update about? Well, we got from Torres a second ago they're putting housing in there. What type of housing? We don't know. Here's what you need to know, is that the recon is written by Democrats for Democrats to be voted on Democrats. The authors are House subcommittee members as the lead authors, with Senate subcommittee leaders, Senate subcommittee members also being part of the drafting process. And when they draft it, there's no constitutional requirement that they appear on Oprah and show you drafts of their drafts or copies of what they're written or telling you how they're voting on things. There's no constitutional requirement. So they just don't do it generally. And so what you need to know is the economic data today is horrible. And the economic data today signals that they need to be adding more stuff in there. What happened today? Number one, the jobless claims number, which is released every Thursday morning, if you've been with me for 60 plus weeks of this channel, you know that before the pandemic started, the jobless claims number was about 220, 250 a week. Well, the new jobless claims number came in, which means new people who are just going on unemployment, they've never been on unemployment during the pandemic, it went through the roof. 373? Wall Street expecting 350, which was also high. It's horrible. It means there's no jobs. This narrative that there's jobs and people are staying home or that they want higher income. There's no jobs. The jobless claims number went through the roof. So what does that say to you? The recon should have an extension of FPUC. The recon should have extension of PUA. The recon should have extension of PEUC. And then viewers are asking me about student loan debt forgiveness. It should be in there. How about rental? It should be in there as well. So you need to push purple power because it's all a drafting process, and you have to be opportunistic as well because this is very bad economic data. The economic data continues to swarm across the board today. It's horrible. China says that their economy is slowing. It's not rebounding from the pandemic. We think that the policy signals suggest that the economy likely slowed in June, said Zwing Zhang, chief economist at Pinpoint. That was this morning. Japan has announced a state of emergency, banning all spectators at the Olympic Games because of Delta. Number three, the stock market is crashing, not because of Delta, but because they're concerned that the economy is not rebounding, that it's reversing course. You can see me talking about treasury yields in a second, but there is now concerns that inflation is not going up, it's now going back down, and that recovery is ending. What's going on here? And then we have in Missouri that 8% of all ICU beds are at full capacity. That's, of course, Delta. So suddenly you see that there's a lot of reason for you to push people, Purple Power, to put stuff in that recon. Now, you can certainly get stuff pushed in the recon. Why? Because it's being protected. Jalapal and Schatz and the president have confirmed this. Now, remember, the recon is written for Democrats by Democrats for Democrats. And Jalapal has been protecting the recon for weeks. Schatz said that the White House considers its progressive priorities in there its own priorities. Well, trust me, if the president's sitting back and watching these job numbers today and seeing, oh, these are horrible, then he's going to understand he has to put more money in here. And you need to push Purple Power because now's the opportunity. Bad economic data, pounce. Use the economic data as your story, your push to get more stimulus in the recon. How did we get to this spot? From Jalapal. Jalapal had written the president a letter, written Schumer a letter a couple of weeks ago saying, call the vote. The letter was so co-signed by 12 House Democrats who were among 100 who had written the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. That's 100 of them, not just one. Can we get better than that? We can. 7 House members of the House Ways and Means Committee, subcommittee, wrote the president a letter over a week ago that said, we're going to be putting monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus recon. Now, understand, when you're writing a recon, House subcommittees are doing it. But there's each House subcommittee that's delegated different subject matters. This one, House Ways and Means, is responsible for stimulus checks. And they wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Wow. Now you have to hold them to their promise. You can't keep your feet back and put your feet, you can't lay back on the lazy boy chair with the donut in your hand saying, where is it? You have to keep on pushing Purple Power. But they represent they're giving you a fourth stimulus check monthly. They represent there's going to be a fifth stimulus check. More about that's coming up in a second. And they wrote your third stimulus recon check earlier this year as well. Can we top that? We can. As the President of the United States got to the finish line this week, that international provision about corporate taxes. Now, you saw him go overseas 3 weeks ago, but it just got a finality this week. It allows that corporate taxes internationally are raised. Why is this huge? Because it makes the recon now easier to pass. Recon is paid by raising corporate taxes, but the president was worried that in raising corporate taxes, business may go overseas where the corporate tax is lower. So he got the corporate tax raised internationally. How does this help recon? Because now it's easier to anchor this recon to the edge of the finish line. You don't have to have the provision about international corporate taxes in the recon. It's in the international agreement. It makes it easier to write the recon. It makes it easier to call the vote on the recon, and it makes it easier to pass the recon. Wow, can we top that? We can. In the third part of this video, you see the monstrous final 15 minutes, the most important 15 minutes of this video. I'll be going over the date, the vote, what happened with July 4th, what's happening with July 15th, where is this money, where is that money, where is this being drafted. I'll go over everything you need to know so that you're fully up to date and all the breaking news that impacts it, because trust me, this breaking news is just, it's shocking. I've never seen an 8-hour window where the news changed so dramatically in the year of this channel. But is there something more wonderful than that? Yes, the volunteers. They're salt of the earth. If you have been in the live chat and you've seen people post the money they have gotten for rent, utilities, internet, and SNAP, you haven't gotten it and you want to get it, but you're trying and you can't find it, don't worry. I got your back. The volunteers have your back. Go to the description of this video. Find an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of a house is a link to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. On that community page, you'll see some kitty cats. Lower on the page of the volunteers. Reach out to them, get that rent, utilities, and internet. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with the big exciting details about the second half of your fourth stimulus and the huge surprise about fifth stimulus. Is it going up or is it going the other direction? Those details are coming up in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the continuation of Morning LALATE is underway. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and I'll be going over all the questions you've been asking in the last 24 hours. I saw some of them repeated during the commercial break. If it was smaller, the recon, why not call the vote? That was the question I asked, and I have all those answers for you coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Everything you need to know is answered. Plus, we'll go over the surprising details that's impacting fifth stimulus. Oh boy, it's a jam-packed breaking news day. So subscribe. A 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. Every like helps. It helps in the algorithm ranking. It also delivers some you'll play. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, pinned comment. First, let's go quickly through fifth stimulus because this is just shocking. It's mind-blowing. Fifth stimulus is that wonderful lift of your benefits that you were promised by the president on the campaign trail. You were promised during the transition papers, and it didn't happen, that SS200. Well, now it's happening under fifth stimulus. It's not SS200, but it's actually a lot more money. First, it'll raise your benefits up, remove the asset limit and inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty. I have a lot of breaking news about that in 1 second, but first let me tell you what's also in the fifth stimulus. Yeah, next year there would be another stimulus check. Those House Ways and Means Committee members say there will be a fifth stimulus check. It would not overlap with fourth stimulus. So understand they're doing fourth stimulus and they're also doing fifth stimulus they represent. Number two, the president's dedicating $1 billion to Social Security Administration to ensure you get checks on time. This is huge. I'm the only one that feels this is exciting, great news, because this ensures your fourth, fifth, and monthly checks land on time. Number three, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, you have to file tax return, number one, and you have to request it on the tax return. If you haven't done both things, you have to do it right now. Okay, so what's this breaking news that's impacting fifth stimulus? I'm just shocked. Let's go over how fifth stimulus works. First, it raises your benefits up a lifetime. That raising up your benefit lifetime is for who? You. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, multiple benefits or more. Then they apply a benchmark. That benchmark would be a new one. It would be inflation. That benchmark is applied at the end of this year to determine how much your benefits go up next year. And Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, no less than 2 weeks ago, said that inflation's going up and it's reaching its highest price point in December. Okay, that was how the news was 6 hours ago, 8 hours ago, 5 hours ago. Guess what? Inflation's tanking. Inflation's going down. What happened? What happened? Is this like a strange nightmare? What happened? Inflation was going through the roof. Or worried about too much inflation? No. There's new concerns that economic recovery is not there. The stock market is crashing right now. The crypto market is crashing. World economies are crashing today because they think that economic recovery here and in other countries is not happening. Reversing course. What is the Treasury yield doing right now, the 10-year Treasury yield? Falling 1.25% in a few hours? That's astronomical. That's the interest rate. That's inflation. Falling dramatically over 1.5 points in a few hours? Ed Hyman, founder and chairman of Evercore, said the decline in the bond yield, what I just went over, 1.25, could be signaling that the inflation burst is transitory, meaning it's over. And or the Delta variant will slow growth, although the 1.25% this morning seems extreme. Oh my goodness. Now, you understand that inflation is still going to be a positive number and still going to be a bigger number than it would have been in another year. But we were talking about big inflation rates as of, 5 hours ago. And now the markets are just tanking and going the other direction. So they'll raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply that inflationary benchmark. It'll raise your benefits lifetime, not next year. Then they'll remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you have room to have a stimulus check and some tacos. They're going to move the income tax cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty will end. Love is going to go away. And you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear loss of benefits. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married. And that's the fifth stimulus package. Still where it is, but this inflation data today is, I know we're many months away from May, from seeing where inflation really is, but boy, this is a bombshell. I'm just shocked by this. Now, if you are in the live chat and you're seeing viewers post monies that they've gotten, rent, utilities, internet, if you haven't posted yours as well, post them right now. And you see they have a purple hawk next to their name, emoji. What's going on? They're members. As members, they're delivered daily from me to them, the breakdown of all the big money that goes out to them. And when third stimulus was passed, I said, yeah, some people say you're getting a $14 stimulus check. I'm saying you're going to get $14,000 for this channel. And that's what I've done. I've gotten viewers a lot of money from this channel by delivering them information of what's available for them under third stimulus. There's a new report out today that from one of the persons that supports Pelosi that says there's a real problem with Americans not knowing this money's available for them. It's a real remarkable achievement. The problem is that people are not aware of it, and things may not continue if people don't know these monies are available. And people always say, why do I not hear this on the news? Because the news rather talk about Kim and Courtney, and then you don't hear about this money, and then the money just, gets returned to the government because no one got it. So consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment. I want you to get this big money. Congratulations to all the massive viewers. You've been doing such a great job. I'm really excited for you on getting all this big money. All right, let's cut to fourth stimulus. With the final big update about fourth stimulus, the final 15 minutes, this is where it gets enormous. All right, number one. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi said 1,000 times, the final vote will be by July 4th for the recon. Let's recap what they said. The final vote, not the first vote, but the final vote, would be by July 4th, not on July 4th, but before July 4th. So why did it not happen by July 4th? Because when Chuck and Nancy were saying that, they thought they could pass the recon with the roads and bridges in there. But they pulled the Democratic caucus, and the Democratic caucus said, no, the recon is too big. You have to do the split. You have to take the roads and bridges out. Okay, to which I would say, well, you did the split 2 Wednesdays ago, and that was before July 4th. Why did you not call the recon after you did the split, where you took the roads and bridges out and you had a smaller recon? That's the question the viewer asked in the live chat as well. The answer to that question is very simple. The recon was, according to what Democrats represent, ready for a vote, but the bipartisan was not ready for a vote. To which I would say, okay, who cares about the bipartisan? I don't care about the darn bridge down the road. I mean, the bridge has been broken for 10 years. I need a check. The bridge will be broken next year. Can we just wait 6 months for the bridge? I need the check. I would say just call the vote. Here's the problem, is that there's enough Democrats who would not support calling a vote on the bipartisan too much later in the future after the recon. What you need to know is that the recon has to be called for a vote concurrently or before the bipartisan. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, just call the recon for a vote before July 4th and call the bipartisan for a vote, like November. No, there's enough Democrats to say they won't support that. They have to have the recon close in proximity to when the bipartisan is voted upon, like, the same week or the same day or a few days apart. Okay. So if the recon is ready for a vote, then just call the bipartisan a few days later. What's the problem? The problem is the bipartisan hasn't been written. Bipartisan is not written. Unbeknownst to all of us that have been focused on the recon, which apparently is close to finish or is finished, the bipartisan is not finished. Whose fault is this? His name is the President of the United States. In the month of June, he met with Shelley Moore Capito, who is the Republican negotiator, and every time she met with him, she had nothing written. She didn't have a bill. She certainly didn't even have a deal memo. And that negotiations fell apart. So finally, he had the meeting with the bipartisans 2 Wednesdays ago, which caused the split. Did they have a bill written at the time? No. Did they have a proposal written at the time? No. To which I would say, okay, but that's 2 weeks ago. What the world have you been doing for 2 weeks? I mean, you're in town. They're not on vacation. They're in town. They're in the offices. They're there. You're elected as legislators to legislate, to write bills. You're not elected to make pancakes. You're elected to write. And so this is why it's becoming 2020 hashtag write the bill. Write the bill. There is no excuse for them to drag their feet on writing the bill for the bipartisan. Moreover, remember, when we're talking about bipartisan, it's a bipartisan. You have to have Democrats and GOP write this together in the bipartisan group. It's not as easy as just, your friends that are in the same political party. This is bipartisan. Write the bill. Hashtag write the bill. I saw the viewers in the chat last night. They remembered the hashtag from last year, and they were reposting it. Hashtag write the bill. You have to go on social media. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable to have the bipartisan just sort of sit around and hold up our recon because they're just going to take 1,000 years to write the bipartisan. Not acceptable. Now, let's go then to the vote. So I got some questions about the vote. About 2 weeks ago, I used to do in the videos the 9 voting steps. Here's what you need to know is that I'm bringing back that coverage because I'm seeing a lot of questions where people say, well, can they just vote on it tomorrow and send out the check? No, because this is a democracy. This is not a dictatorship. Can he just take out his checkbook and write a check to me? No, that is not Vladimir Putin. Here's what you need to know. For something to become a law, it has to pass the House, has to pass the Senate, has to pass the President. To which someone may say, well, that's just 2 votes, 2 days, get it done. No, it's actually 12 steps. 12 steps? Yeah, let me explain why. This I can explain. I can't explain why the light keeps on coming in. The sun outside is just on fire today. It's just off and on and off and on. So I'm going in and out of light. There's 3 bills: the recon procedural, the recon substantive, and the bipartisan. How many steps are there for that? 12. Now, when I say 12, it does not mean it takes 12 days. They can do several steps in one day. Here are the 12 steps. We're starting on the Senate side going to the House because this one is inverted. That's what they agreed upon. So Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House, President. 4 steps. They got to do that 3 times. 12 steps. So they got to get that done. Next, July 15th, 14th. I'm seeing these strange dates. July 15th, 14th. I love my viewers. My viewers had the answers before I even said them. July 15th is nothing about 4 stimulus. July 15th is 3rd stimulus. 3rd stimulus checks for children. That is not 4 stimulus. There's nothing of a July 15th that is in the topic of 4 stimulus. So there's nothing about 4th stimulus for checks for, there's nothing about 4th stimulus for July 15th. Finally, it's important to note that these legislators now are getting this done, but this economic data today was horrible. You have to be opportunistic. You have to be opportunistic. How many times did I ever talk about in 2020 where I said, if the economic data came back strong, Mitch would have a really good argument not to give stimulus. Or if the economic data came back weak, then Nancy would have a very good argument to have stimulus. This economic data is horrible. This economic data is horrible. The people writing your stimulus at the recon are Democrats. Democrats for Democrats, voted by Democrats. Come on, the economic data is bad. This is horrible. China saying their economy is slowing. Japan going on a state of emergency. Stock market crashing. Jobless claims surging to 373,000. Wall Street looking for 350. Treasury yields falling to 1.25%. An enormous drop, signaling inflation is not there and signaling this economy is coming to a stall. And finally, ICU beds at 80% capacity in Missouri and states like that. It's just, this is the opportunity. So if you think that the recon should have unemployment, PUA, FPUC, PEUC, get on social media, call your senators, call right away. This is the opportunity. When bad economic data happens, right when they're writing something, use it in your favor, folks. Use it right now. Next, student loan debt forgiveness, rent, utilities, any of these things that you think should be put in the recon, get it. Remember, they can take something out as easy as they can put it in. They can take out your stimulus checks at any minute. You can't sit back with that donut and assume anything with these people. They flip-flop. But you can also push them to add stuff in there as well. Finally, a personal message. I don't insert a lot of personal messages in the videos, but I do have one about this one. The president needs to get all this stimulus in this package. He is in a tightrope at the moment. If this economy slows, he's going to lose his shirt in the midterm elections. If this economy slows, because he did not send out stimulus to a broad stroke of people, this economy will slow. He cannot keep on focusing on children. I do believe the president has come short on one group of people, absolutely, and that group is businesses. There should be more money in this. In addition to monthly stimulus checks, in addition to all this unemployment, in addition to student loan debt forgiveness, there should be money for all different groups. And he has made a big error in not getting money out for businesses, for business growth, for PPP, another round of EIDL grant. The last round was a fiasco. And I don't know when business stimulus became a Republican thing. It's not. It's bipartisan. I saw all throughout LA County yesterday that businesses are shutting down, that businesses are not reopening, and that there's no jobs. And you can't keep on looking at just one part of the economic recovery. You've got to give money everywhere. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. Just get it done. We can deal with the road next year. The bridge is fine. We're not going to take a road travel over the bridge if there is no job on the other side of the bridge. Oh, I like that. That should be on a poster. And with that, thank you for tuning in for Mornings LALATE. I'm next with you with Mornings Crypto. It's coming up at 9:30 in just 5 minutes from now, live on air. And then we go into noontime LALATE. I just expect this to be a jam-packed news day, folks. There's just so much breaking news, and we are far from over. And so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. You see why this channel's growth is working. Thank you for the incredible viewership this week. You have been on fire. I love your questions when they're informed. I love when you're informed. I try to answer as much as I see when it's really on point. And I have the same questions. Why not this? Why not that? Get it done. Go on social media. Call up your senators. Hashtag write the bill. Push Purple Power. And stay here. Stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling, and stay informed, and stay with LA for More.